So then, welcome back to my next video. Now yes, I know it's been an absolute age, best part of 4 or 5, possibly even 6 weeks to be quite honest. I don't know, I've lost count. Now yeah, it's not been through lack of trying. For many different reasons, I've been trying to get out for a day session for weeks and weeks now, but there's just been a spanner thrown in the works, like I say, for one reason or another. Now yeah, it's in that sort of middle period between Christmas and New Year, so I hope all of you have had a very Merry Christmas, enjoyed all the sort of festivities, family time and whatever you do obviously with your you know, with your Christmas period. I hope you've enjoyed it, got loads of new Carpy Christmas presents, and yeah, been able to put them to good use, unlike myself. It's also, like I say, just before New Year, so those of you that are watching, I yeah, wish you a very happy New Year as well, and all the best for 2023. I'm also just coming out the back of a sort of 10-11 day sort of cold flu type illness that's going around at the moment, so I do sound a bit bunged up, which I am. So yeah, I've had that the last sort of 10-11 days, which is, yeah, just killed me off, just drained me and just left me feeling, yeah, rather rubbish, to be quite honest with you. So I've dragged myself out today, not that I need any sort of excuse to get out on the bank, and I've come down to Woodside Lakes for a day session. Now it's wet, it's windy, but it's looking good for a chance of a bite. So I've got 2 rods out already. I've been just trying to dodge the really sort of heavy downpours. I've got one last solid bag to get out. Ever faithful, trusty, solid bags have never let me down sort of on here, always seem to pull it out of the bag as such for me. So I've got one left to flick out, and then it's just going to be a case of yeah, watching over the water, dotting a few bags around throughout the course of the morning as this rain sort of passes, and then yeah, hopefully see what the day has in store. But yeah, I'm just glad to get out, get some fresh air through my lungs, and more importantly have the rods out as well, and the chance of catching a carp or 2. So I think that's enough of an intro. As I say, thanks for joining me back on my channel. Let's get this 3rd rod out and see what the day has in store. So the rain has finally passed, trying to dry my coat off on a storm pole there, but yeah, it's allowed me to get out the bivvy and stretch my legs a little bit. Now it's just coming up to 11 o'clock and it's time to redo the rods. They've been out there a good, probably 3 hours easy, and what I've done is I've seen one over to the far bank now, probably a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 rod lengths from my left hander. So going on previous experience and knowing the sort of layout of the lake bed, it is quite shallow down that end. I'd imagine it's borderline 3 foot now, because it does just sort of slope right up as the closer you get to the reeds. It's kind of like a gradual slope, and I see one fish, real dark back on it, just slosh out twice. Now the wind has changed direction, so it's now going from left to right, whereas before it was kind of coming over my shoulder and coming right to left, and I believe it's meant to stay this way now. So I don't know whether they're just 1 or 2 hanging up out the back of the way of the wind, whether that's you know, the difference between catching a fish or not, I don't know. But I have seen one, like I say, over on that far bank. What I'm going to do is have the left hander in, and I think what I'm going to do, because there's a swim next door that is free, I'm going to have to basically walk it round and drop it on its head. I don't want to go slamming a solid bag from where I am now straight in, crashing through 2-3 foot of water, and you know, all the fish just if there, you know, however many fish are over there, at least one just disappearing because the solid bag's gone crashing through, like I say, 2-3 foot of water. So with the reeds all now sort of dying down, I will be able to walk around there and essentially just lower a solid bag onto it and just walk it back round to the first swim. And then yeah, what I'm going to do with the other two is probably just move them ever so slightly off to the right, so sticking to sort of like the back, not island, but you know, back bank, and then probably just plopping one out in the deeper open water as well. All I'm going to do now is just keep sort of turning the cog every couple of hours, recasting, reacting to things that I see, because it's winter, bite times are, you know, are small, there's not masses of window of opportunity. So I want to just make sure that I react to, you know, everything that I see. So yeah, let's have these rods in, put a little plan into attack, and yeah, see if anything comes of it for the next couple of hours, and then we'll reassess and go again. It's been dropped right off the back of that wind. It's probably about 3 foot down there. As I felt the solid bag go down, I'd guesstimate it, yeah, be around 3 foot or so. But I've seen another, since I was literally getting that rod ready, I see another one just slosh out, and there's only a very small sort of amount of water that's right off the back of the wind. It's got no sort of surface ripple or anything, but the two shows that I've seen now have been right in there. So yeah, can't really do anything else, to be quite honest with you. So just where these reeds are sort of coming out into the lake, you can see that flat slack water, and both of the fish that I've seen have boshed out in there. And now this rod is tucked down there nicely, ready to go. Fishing quite locked up, quite tight, because like I say, there is a set of sort of reeds that are just poking out that could cause a problem. So so yeah, fishing that quite tight. Got the alarm up nice and loud so I can get on that straight away. I was going to put it sort of in the bark area, but I thought just bringing it round in between the sort of marginal sort of shrubbery just gives it a better angle, so that it's not running sort of alongside those reed stems or anything like that, and it just gives me a little bit more area to sort of sweep it aside if anything does get their head down on that solid bag. Feeling really confident about that one. I think if there's any rod that's gonna go, I'm putting my eggs in that basket and it being that one. But yeah, it's looking good for it. Managed to get it sort of, there is a tree over there, actually I didn't actually realise, but with the assistance of the wind and keeping the rod up nice and high, it allowed the wind to sort of just gently blow the line off the spool and kind of take it away from any of the reeds and the tree as well, because I only brought my 10-foot rods, so it's actually quite nice to just get it up there, and with the assistance of the wind just let the line sort of bow out and away from anything that is sort of, you know, potentially going to get caught on as I lowered the solid bag. So yeah, it all went down absolutely bang on. I can't ask for anything more, to be quite honest with you. So there's a good, you know, there's a good couple of fish over there. So where there's two, there may be more. Bags down there, can't really do anything else. So managed to get the other one out back over to the sort of face of the opposite bank, and this right-hander, I think I'm just going to put it out in open water. Firstly, I'm just going to quickly tie on the deeper, because I know there's a sort of 7-foot area somewhere just off to the right, and I want to try and pinpoint that really, and drop a bag into it for the next sort of 2 or 3 hours. So that's what I'm going to do. I've quickly just tied it on, but just going to flick it out now that I've got this left-hand rod out. So let's see if we can find that slightly deeper water, and yeah, get another bag tied on. Well, that's all 3 rods now back out. all fishing, and yeah, I'm really happy with yeah, the placement of all of them really. Like I say, the left-hander went out absolutely bang on, over to where I've seen them showing fish, right up, tucked up off the back of the wind. I said I was going to just bob around the Chirp Plus 2 to just find that deeper water. Tied it onto one of my rods. I knew it'd be alright on my sort of 15-pound line, because I was just underarming it out like 20 yards out, so I knew there was going to be no heavy casting or anything like that. So tied that on, flicked it out, just let it sort of bob around with the wind, just drift itself from left to right, and just had a little play with the settings to get the best sort of clarity, best crispness of scan. So allowed that to do its thing, and what it revealed is that there are a couple of fish, or you know, 2 or 3 fish down there that are just hugging bottom. So you can see from that scan, it's starting to reveal sort of arches as it was just bobbing down the lake from left to right, and then yeah, and then another arch. Now, bearing in mind this lake isn't weedy at all. You might get a tiny little bit of weed in the margins in the heat of the summer, but it really isn't that weedy. But as you can tell, it started to reveal arches, which are carp. There are no other fish in this lake. I think maybe 1 or 2 tench that may not even be here anymore. So any signs of fish like this, yeah, can only be carp, because anything else doesn't exist in this lake basically. And the further I sort of allowed it to drift on, see if I can just find it on the scan, it started to reveal more and more on the lake bed. See if I can just get that zoomed in on the phone, a little bit of a clearer image. But yeah, started to reveal objects on the lake bed. There are no sort of snags in this lake. There's only one sort of raised island, but as you can see, it started to reveal more shapes, more arches, and they are smack bang on the bottom of the lake bed. Now, I reckon if it wasn't so windy, and I can narrow that down to maybe a medium or a narrow beam, I reckon those arches would have come up absolutely crystal clear. But because there's like a 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing from left to right, it's just made not made that scan as clear as I would want it to be. But it's definitely told me that there are fish out there. So I made sort of a marker on the horizon, knew exactly where I was, sort of the distance I needed to drop it out at, and yeah, I reckon there's a chance of a bite on that right-hander. To be quite honest with you, I reckon there are 1 or 2 fish just hugging bottom out in the middle of the lake, and my solid bag now has gone out amongst them. So I reckon if there's any rod to go, it's going to be the 2 outsides, either the left or either the right. I know for a fact they are now fishing amongst fish. So I'm going to get a little bit of lunch on the go, just try and give myself a little bit more energy. Starting to feel fatigued already. This bloody cold is just yeah, slowly killing me. So I've gone through, I don't know how much toilet roll blowing my bloody nose today, but it's not going to stop me from trying my hardest of putting the fish on the mat. So let's get some food on, keep an eye out over the water. The most of that rain has now disappeared, which means I can get out the bivvy and actually keep an eye on things and see what's happening, and again, like I say, react to anything that I see. So let's get some food on, and I'll catch up with you a little bit later on in the afternoon. Well, it is coming up to around 4:45. I've got a couple of hours left of the session. As you can see, the light is starting to fade, and it's been a yeah, uneventful session really. After seeing those fish like up to the left, I generally thought I might be in for a chance, I might be in for an opportunity of trying to nick one from up in that sort of left hand side bay off the back of the wind. It just gave me hope that there was fish there. and that they yeah, they might be catchable if I got it in there discreetly and quietly, but nothing materialised at all. As I say, I moved the right hander into open water as well to obviously what was revealed on the deeper when I was just sort of trotting it along in the wind. Again, nothing else, not even a single beep, no liners, no nothing. And the middle rod, which is I've just kind of used as a bit of a rover really. I've just kind of dotted it up and down the far bank, shorter, longer, etc., where I know that the fish like to sort of hold up, they like to patrol sort of in, you know, all sort of seasons, but it's always good for a bite over there. I've always you know, always had a bite from over in that sort of general area, but yeah, it's just not to be today. Really quiet. I don't think anything else has been out from the other two anglers either, that are sort of just a bit down further down the bank from me. So yeah, quiet all round. But you know, never say never. There is a couple of hours of this session left yet, so you know, there's always a chance if I've still got those rods in the water. But what I'm going to do is just wrap up the video now. Real short video, sweet video. Hasn't really given me a lot to sort of play with content wise, but hopefully if I have to flick the camera back on before the session's out, it'll be with a carp in my hands, fingers crossed. So if you got this far, thank you for watching. As I said, I hope you had a great Christmas. I wish you all the best for 2023. This will be obviously my last session of 2022. Right, well, I said I would be getting the camera back out if anything happened, and lo and behold, half an hour into dark, and the middle rod that I've been roving around up and down the face of the opposite bank has gone ticking off. It was just literally tick, 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 ever so slightly. Just took a few ticks of the spool. And yeah, I didn't really know what was on to start with. I was just reeling down into nothing, and then it wasn't until I got sort of 3/4 of the way back that this fish actually just started to do something, to be quite honest with you. I generally didn't know what I had on, but he's a really nice common. Just fling the camera around, and yeah, he's in the net resting down there. Happy days. He looks a decent one as well, to be fair. Oh, I am buzzing with that. Solid bags coming up trumps again, just into dark. Oh, happy days. Let's get that mat out and get him up and have a look. Would you believe it? I got a feeling this is a fish me and Rich, the owner of Woodside Lake, was talking about earlier. A common that is 29, possibly even 30. Well, I can confirm it's definitely gone 30. It's just gone 30 pound and 8 ounces. And look at this, what a fish. It is immaculate. Oh my god, look at this. 30 pound and 8 ounces. And it's like we talked it onto the mat. Just look at it. Absolute breeze block of a common. It is stunning. Not a scale out of sight. And a solid bag, pink sea monster, doing the do again. But yeah, look at it. Oh my god, so made up. 30 pound, 8 ounces. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a way to finish the year, and what a way to finish a really crappy last 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, it is killing my back. Oh, 30 pound and 8 ounces. What a mega fish. I had a little sneaky suspicion when I was playing it that it might have been a bigger fish, one of the bigger residents, because it just kind of didn't really do nothing. It's just hugging bottom, and just sort of plodding left to right. So I had a sneaky suspicion that it might actually be a bigger one, but I was not expecting this to pop up. Oh, I am absolutely buzzing. 30 pound and 8 ounces, get a few snaps, slip it back. Oh, what a result. Come on. Oh. Right, well, that is the car loaded up an hour ahead of sort of gate closing, because yeah, I just don't think you can really sort of top that. What I failed to sort of register in the excitement of the moment is that was my yeah, my new PB common, 30lb and 8 ounces. So I've been chasing a 30lb common for a number of years now, with my sort of previous common I think being around a 26lb mark. So yeah, it was a right result to sign off in that way with a 30lb common, end of the year after all the aggro that I've had, and yeah, a fourth 30 for this venue as well. So absolutely awesome way to finish a session, finish a year. Let's get home, get this lot unpacked, get in the shower, and have a chill out evening. What a way to finish. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll speak to you soon.